Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay, it is Sunday as I record this, the definite thumbs up. It is not raining now, and I don't remember. Well, no, in fact, it was clear last night when I went out walkies. So thumbs up for that. It's been, not great weather. It's finally getting actually cold. I almost had to wear something besides just a shirt and a t-shirt last night. Under normal circumstances, had I been anyone else, I would have had to wear a jacket or some such. As it is the way my body heats up, had I worn anything more than what I did, by the time I got back from walkies, I would have been horribly sweating. So, wearing just a shirt and, the two shirts and backpack and my jeans, and then going out like that, it's more than warm enough. So thumbs up for that. Good thing. Yeah, definitely. And of course, front load the video. If you could interact with the YouTube algorithms, hit the like button. That would be very cool. Definitely a thumbs up on that. And also, if you could interact, and if you have not subscribed, if you like what you see in here, if you could subscribe to the channel, that too would be awesome. Definitely a thumbs up on that. A good thing. And of course, I do like to thank now all of my Patreon.com patrons as well at the front as well as the back of the video, because these people have, they help keep me alive and functioning, roof over my head, food in my stomach, pain medication so I can move, help keeping my pets alive. Thank you so very, very much, each and every one of you. If you could become a Patreon patron, that too would be very, very cool. Now, I don't know how long the text is up there. I have very, very poor sense of time passing. So if I took my hands down before it's over, or I had them up while there was nothing there, thumbs up. A good thing. But still, life is life. And there was a Thomas G who helped me out a bit ago on PayPal. And then there was another person whom at this moment, I'm very sorry, I cannot remember the name. I do want to thank, because it is very appreciated. Any amount and anything that helps. So thumbs up. And I'm sorry I've forgotten your name. It's on my PayPal thing. I'm going to get it. I'll thank you by name tomorrow if you are watching. So thumbs up. Yay. Past that, I didn't do much yesterday. There was a relaxation period of way too long in which I fell asleep for a while. And then after that, I watched videos. I tried to think of things. I played some games. And generally just existed, and then went out walkies and thought about things as I was out on walkies. I've added some extra loops and such to make the walk longer. Now, beforehand, I had used the whole Google Maps and then tracking things out to try and figure out how long the loop was that I went out on walkies, and it was about 4.4 miles. So I've been adding to that extra loop, so it's probably over 5 miles now when I go out on walkies, and that's good. I enjoy the good walk. Definitely a thumbs up on that. I want to start taking 2 walks in a day, one more in the morning time around noonish, because generally when I come in here in the morning time, I take a seat and I'm here until I go walkies. I get up, I go to the bathroom, I go downstairs to get food, I go downstairs just to walk outside and see the sunshine and see what the world outside is like. It's not like I just sit down and then don't move, but it's just, I go downstairs and then I come back up and then I sit. And then a couple hours later, I get up and I go downstairs and then I come back up and then I sit. So I need to do more exercise during the daytime, especially since I worry about my whole cardiovascular system. Yay. But past that, I've been trying to do more thinking about various things that have been happening, for fictional things, with creative story talk. I want to spend a fair amount of time now today talking more about the whole inside, outside, and the setting and what's happening with it. More of it is slowly falling into place. I mean, in Tenasket Valley, I've mentioned how there's Tenasket, the town of Tenasket in Tenasket Valley. And when you're in there, you don't look at the moon. Look at the moon, you'll probably get stuck looking at it. And if you're stuck looking at the full moon, if you're stuck looking at a full moon, in about an hour you're going to transcend, and then you are big and bulky. You're about 12 feet tall, stocky, thick, fast. And you need to eat. You need to get meat in your belly because you put on at least 1.5 tons of muscle. And you've got a short period of time to quickly fill your belly with meat to make up that energy deficit. Because if you don't, your body's going to start cannibalizing itself, and the transcended will not survive that. It will devour itself, the energy needs it has. No one's ever seen or heard of this ever happening in the valley. This still does, but it's never happened with people around. Now, before everything that was going on with Apple Rock, everybody on the edge has been feeling this tension building for a year before Apple Rock goes into its kaiju form and starts rampaging through the town. Nothing in any living memory has felt this tension before, and it's building slowly, so you don't really feel how bad it is or how bad it's getting and how quickly, but there's that tension of things. Just something needs to happen, something's building up, something is going to occur. And in Tenasket Valley, now it used to be about once a year, people would go out into the valley and they'd stare at the moon on a full moon and they'd transcend, and there would be a mournful howl to the human ear. It sounds mournful. And then they'd fly up to the moon, and then from there out into the rest of the universe. That's been happening much more often as time has gone on through this year. It started off, once a year, and then through the time it's become once a month. And then as they noticed, it's happening faster, until just before, a month before all this happens and comes to a head, it's happening about once a week. And one of the problems is, I was out going walkies the other night. We have kind of a train yard in our little town here, and sometimes they have some really kind of fascinating sounds that come from there. It sounded, the noise, like the mournful howls of a dying beast. And of course, since I was thinking of the inside when I was out walkies and I heard all that, I'm thinking they need to eat. They need to fill their bellies with meat, and with that happening that often, there is a major ecological crisis in Tenasket Valley right now. Because, to start off the story, I want to have the mayor and the sheriff out listening and watching and talking about what's going on. And then they hear that mournful howl because somebody's transcended, only it comes bursting out of the forest at them, staggering, desperate to get to them so it can eat them, but it can't. And even as they're watching, it is just rippling and it's eating itself from the energy deficit. It's trying to get to them even as it's being skeletonized by itself. And at last it dies before it gets to them. And they know now they've got a serious problem if something doesn't happen fast. Because, even if something does happen, there's nothing bigger out there to eat anymore. There's been so much happening, there are no more deer, or raccoon, or wolves, or elk, or possums, or squirrels. There's nothing out there to eat anymore. So now there's a major ecological crisis going to be facing them. What do you do when all the animals are gone? And of course, until something does happen, those things are going to be needing to eat when they transcend. And when there's only one source of meat now in the valley, there's gonna be a problem. And you can't just herd the whole town underground every 3 days, once a month. I messed that one up badly. You can't just herd everyone underground for 3 days once a month while there's a full moon. But how do you make sure that nobody's going to be staring at the full moon at night? Especially if you have people now that are determined to transcend, and now they know they need to transcend where they're people, because boy, they need to eat when they're done. So that's not good, but it's not all terrible, except there's a place. I've talked about Grumper's Toad. There, the little town Grumper's Toad. There is a little toad there. It's little for us. It's a big fat toad. It's been on the town council. That's a depressing thing for the poor thing. I had thought of something that was horrible and depressing, needed something to take the tension off, and then it becomes horrible and depressing again. Grumper's Toad, I figure it talks to somebody, and these little speech things I like to do to get a handle on character, and says something along the lines of, the person says, "Hey, can you tell me a bit about Grumper?" And then Grumper's Toad just starts talking and says, "Oh yes, Grumper. He was my best friend 300 and some odd years ago. I was just a toad among hundreds out in the swamp, and we saw all of us Grumper coming out daily, and he would catch toads. We had no illusions. He was eating these toads. He needed to eat, though. We eat bugs. Bugs eat other bugs. It's a chain of life. Everyone was afraid of him, though, except for me. I saw something, and I knew I was different, and I needed to talk. And one day, when he showed up, I came out, and he too saw something special in me. And when he got me, he did not put me in with the other toads. He did not take me home to eat. He took me home because he found out, and I found out, that he needed a friend, and I too needed one. And he saw something special in me, and I did my best to realize that potential for him. For 30 years, we were best friends. And I realized my potential, and we had deep and strong conversations. We were the best of friends, and after 30 years, he got old and sicker, and one day he died. And that brought an end to the very best 30 years I have had in my very long life. That was over 300 years ago. The day after he died, I hopped into town and started acting in his stead. It was a little weird at first for everyone, but I soon had a position on the council, and I've been on the town council ever since. I miss Grumper. He was my best friend, the best thing in my life, and I miss him every single day, every single hour, every single minute of my much, much too long of a life. And that's sad when you think about it that way. That's really depressing and awful. So as a sort of tension giver, the person that asked that question reacts in an over-the-top fashion. Own your emotions. You really need to. Have your emotions, own them. Probably don't react like this, where the person would go, "Well, Jesus, God, that was horrible. I came here expecting maybe a funny story, and instead I just want to open up both roads, wrist to elbow to the bone. I mean, oh my God, that was so depressing. I have never heard a singularly more sad story in my relatively short life. I feel like I weigh 10,000 pounds, which is good. I've got my hand weapon out in the vehicle, and I can't even crawl out there. And boy, do I want to eat a bullet. Oh my God, I am so depressed. My chest hurts." And so, yeah, it's a tension reliever, but oh boy, that's an actual real reaction. Thumbs up for that. So yeah, not all places are terrible, but everybody's got their own sad story. And in Grumper's Toad, a little town, only about 400 people, Grumper's Toad is kind of a sad little toad. And of course, in the context of the story, in the year that this is happening, Grumper's Toad speaks less and less and is losing weight. Not getting smaller, literally losing weight, getting smaller inside of its skin. It survives after the kaiju rampages. Rampages, I pronounced that correctly. But it's like, oh, it's sad for a while. And I've opened up 24 hours where the comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank, well, however many people have left comments. Far less than the 25 I used to thank, but anything more than 0 is awesome. Thank you so very much. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. I am an American English speaker, and even though I count American Sign Language, well, my memory's gotten better all the time. It is a hell of a lot better than it used to be, but it's never going to be wonderful. Life is life. We have Ice Damon, thumbs up and thank you. Jocelyn Williams, greatly appreciated. Jacob the Goat, thumbs up. Haley Laura, greatly appreciated and good questions, and I hope the link works for you. We have Confused Owl 29, very, very cool, and always good to see that people are surviving and good. Sebastian Ferris, thumbs up and thank you. We have Lucifer, always good to see you in the comments, a definite thumbs up. And we have Johnny K, greatly appreciated, good to see you in the comments as well. Super close, thumbs up and thank you. Excuse me. We have Bra Moment, thumbs up and thank you. We have ODBQ, thumbs up. There is Nick Reiger, greatly appreciated. Alex Doing Dumb Stuff, greatly appreciated and thank you. And that is it. 12 people who left me comments over my videos in the last 24 hours. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Again, anything more than 0 is awesome. Thank you. It is appreciated to no end. Yay! A very good thing. I am easy to please, and that is a definite thumbs up. And of course, I do not know what device you're watching this on, so I do not know where the video description is, but inside of that, I have links to all my channels, so if you could check that out, that would be cool. I also have links to things like my PayPal, Twitter, my Patreon, and again, if you could become a patreon.com patron like one of these very beautiful and very awesome people, that would indeed be very beautiful and very awesome. I can't say anything past that. These people are beautiful and awesome and helping to keep me alive, and that's a very good thing. If you'd like to help me out without sending me money through the Patreon, I have a PayPal link, and since I'm so close to nothing, even spare cash thrown my way would help. Oh, that would be awesome. Of course, if you cannot, well, no, I'm ahead of myself now. I do have an Amazon wish list link with things like cat food. Hopefully I'm going to get like more hard drives because of my 3 terabyte hard drive is dying, but I don't want a bigger drive than that. So I'm trying to just ask for a bunch of smaller 1 terabyte drives. Of course, don't feel obligated on any of that. You know, I do not feel entitled. I don't want you to feel obligated, you know, so please don't do any of that. And of course, if you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. And if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Definitely need a thumbs up on that. Yay! Definitely a thumbs up. Of course, always seek creativity. You want to keep your brain functioning properly. You don't use it, you do lose it. Stave off dementia by using your brain. Seek positivity. I was a negative person for far too many years. It only hurts you and the people around you. And of course, seek balance in all things. Bouncing off the walls in extremes may be fun, but it's not healthy for you in any way. It may seem more boring to be in balance, but you will not regret that. And of course, if you have to go out amongst others, well, please don't if you don't have to, but if you do, wear a mask and try to maintain your social distancing, wash your hands off and try not to touch your face, get vaxxed, please. Get a booster if and when it's available to you. We gotta get through this. It's just a disease. It only wants to spread. And right now, it is becoming a fatal plague for the unvaxxed. So, thumbs up. Just be smart, be safe, be alive. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is, in my book anyway, a very good thing.